Hey, Free Spirit Beaders. This is Kristen here with Econoflex Company, your host of Free Spirit Beading here on Mondays at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Hope you guys have had a nice weekend. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Hey, Mary, good to see you. I kind of been nesting around here in my house. I redid my living room downstairs a little bit, and then it inspired me to redo my office up here. So this weekend was spent moving a lot of furniture and going through art supplies and organizing. I have a lot left to do, but it was really fun. I've been a little creatively blocked, I guess, and so it was a really nice thing to go through all of my stuff and try and get that creativity going again, seeing the different supplies I have and organizing them and just being reinvigorated and inspired by moving stuff around. Do you guys ever feel that? Like you just get a little stuck, and by just changing things up a little bit and organizing something, it starts to spark that creativity inside again. So I'm excited because I'm feeling a little more creatively happening because of all the movement going on. So today I'm going to talk about our Econoflex wire. And you know, we are Econoflex Company. Our original wire is Econoflex beading wire. It is a micro braided stainless steel beading wire made here in the USA, and it is just the best for flexibility, knottability, and all around professional jewelry making. But we did create a product line called Econoflex, and it is our crafting and hobby wire line. We don't talk about it as much. Hello, Denise. How are you? Good to see you. We don't talk about the product as much, but today I wanted to spend a little time on it. We have a sale going on with this particular product. Today is March 18th, and the sale is running till tomorrow night, March 19th, 2019 at midnight Pacific time. Hi from Atlanta, Rita, welcome, hello. So the sale is going on until tomorrow at midnight, March 19, 2019 Pacific time. It's 20% off of all of our all of our Econoflex beading wire brands. We have two of them. We have the Econoflex hobby wire, and then we have Pro Econoflex, and I'll tell you guys a little bit about the difference as we are working here today. But we have 20% off both of them. We also have a handful of colors in the closeout section of our website. It is all of the 0.010, the very fine diameter. So it's really, really thin and kind of specific, I guess, for when you can use something that thin. But it's 30% off in our closeout section, and then you'll get another 20% off during this sale. I am going to show you a design today using the Very Fine 0.010 wire, so that if you do want to pick up some of those colors, this is something you can do with it. Let me show you guys what's kind of fun about our Econoflex line colors. We don't have a ton of them, but they are very jewel toned. So if you like when your colors have a little bit of a metallic sheen to them, all of these are really very, very pretty. We've got a cinnamon red, and these are in our Econoflex. So this is a cinnamon red, a steel blue, plum, which I'm going to use today. I'm looking all plummy. I even found a dress to match, because isn't it always fun to make jewelry that matches what you're wearing? Spring green and midnight black. We also have a white, but it is sold out in our medium. We have it in a few other diameters. and an autumn brown, which again is sold out in our medium, but we've got it in other diameters. So those are the colors of the Econoflex. Hi, Jerry from Missouri. This is our Pro Econoflex line, and our Pro Econoflex comes in 2 diameters, 0.014 and 019, and it comes in just a steel gray, which is like satin silver for Softflex. So it's like a steel gray color. And then this color, which doesn't do justice on the spool, but it is a gold color. And it's a really nice option for an affordable gold. So if you like the look of gold, I did this one with the Pro Econoflex gold color, and you can find this on another free spirit beading video showing you how to make this. But if you like the look of gold and you can't afford our pricier product, which is 24K, which can get really pricey, especially if you're using it in mass quantities. I tend to save the 24K for really special situations. Like I'm wearing it today on this necklace because I used these really pretty ametrine beads, and I just wanted it to be, I wanted to be able to elevate the design a little bit with using the 24K. But if you want an affordable option, the Pro Econoflex Gold is really nice. And if you like to use things that are a little more like an antique brass or even just brassy kind of colors, a lot of gold plated has a little more of that brass look to it. This actually matches really, really well. Okay, so what are we doing today? We are gonna make a bracelet. I've seen Sarah do this a few times, Sarah Ayler, my friend and coworker. We are gonna make a bracelet similar to this. I'm calling it a Wrap Around Knot Bracelet. You don't really knot, but it does wrap around these 2 outside wires. And this I used the Econoflex Spring Green for the outside of my bracelet, and then I just used the fine 014 steel gray for my wrapping. And this was just my, you know, practice one to make sure I've got everything right for you guys by the time I do the video. So that's what we're gonna do today, but we're gonna do it in black and plum and with some different beads. All right, so I'm gonna turn you guys down and show you some of the supplies we need, and we'll get going. Okay, so we're gonna be using our macrame board. Let's see. We're gonna be using our macrame board. We're gonna use the Econoflex. This is the 0.10 in black. And we're gonna be using, and that's gonna be our wrap wire, our wrapping wire. And then we're gonna use the Plum, Econoflex Plum in the medium. You'll need to have a pair of cutters. These are the Softflex Professional Flush Cutters. I like the long handle, but we do sell them in long and short handles. You'll need a pair of crimping pliers for 2x2 millimeter crimps. I have my magical crimping pliers here. I also have just regular crimping pliers, so either one would work. I've got some beads. We're gonna use these today. These, they're 8 millimeter. They're called Cathedral Cut check glass beads. We don't sell them at Softflex Company, but you can do a Google search and find them. They sell them in all different colors. This is sort of a smoky clear. So it's a clear bead, but it has a little bit of that kind of smoke in there. I have a toggle clasp. You can use any clasp you want. And then I have these little silver beads here and these saucer beads. I think I'm gonna go with the saucer, but I put them both down on my tray to to see how they look. And you will need some 2x2mm crimp tubes, that's right. I found when I did this bracelet that I had to put 2 crimp tubes on this end, just the way it was finishing. So I think for symmetry's sake, I'm gonna put 2 on this end also. So I'm gonna use 4 crimps total. And this was the bracelet I was just showing you guys up there. So get this hair off. Okay. So I'm gonna try and prop up this macrame board today so you can see it a little better before I get going. But first I'm gonna cut my wire. So for the wrapping wire, the black 0.010 wire, I am gonna cut off 3 feet. So we'll have 3 feet of that longer wire that's gonna wrap around the outside. And I'm gonna do 18 inches. Hi, Vanessa, welcome. I'm gonna do 18 inches of the Econoflex medium plum color. Oh, I wonder why I don't see the comments. There we go. Rita says, so pretty, I have cathedral beads in my stash. Yeah, they are such pretty beads. I love them. I've used them once before on a video. Okay, so now I'm gonna take out some crimp tubes. And if you haven't, I think I'm gonna use the black. You haven't seen them yet. We have these black, they're sterling silver, black oxide crimps. I'm just gonna take out 2 for now. 2x2mm. And since we're using black wire and the purple's pretty dark too, I think the black crimps will be really nice to fade in a bit. And I'm gonna attach these wires to my toggle. For some reason, YouTube is showing me the comments in a different way and I don't like it. How do I fix this? Oh well, I don't know. I guess I can't fix it right at the minute here. I don't know if they changed something, but do you guys see your comments at the bottom of the video or along the side? I usually see it along the side, but for some reason they're showing up at the bottom today. It might just be a setting on my computer at the moment that is different. Softflex Cambyses mind on the side. Yeah, that's where I like it. I'll have to see if there's a way I could change it. Side, side, side. Why are mine at the bottom? It's hard for me to see the video and the comments with them being at the bottom. All right, so I'm gonna take one of my toggles and I'm gonna string it on the 2 wires. And I'm also gonna take one of the crimps and string it on both wires. Just like that. And then I'm gonna find the center of both of my wires. So I want the center of my purple, which, did I make this long enough? Okay, I'm gonna cut a little bit longer of the plum. it didn't quite fit in my macrame board the way I want it to. So I'm going to do 2 feet of it. I was going to do this part before I started, but then I also thought it's kind of good for you guys to see how I'm starting it. So here I am. Okay, so we're going to put this wire back through here, my toggle. And I'm just going to find the center of that plum wire, and it's just an approximate. And then I'm going to do the same for the longer wrap. I'm going to pull it down so that right here where it connects to my toggle is the center for both of those wires. So now I'm going to pull them to the other side where my tails are. And remember, you're going to have your one tail a little bit shorter than your other. So I'm just going to kind of wrap that around to hold the longer. And now I'm going to string on my crimp tube. So I've got one 2x2 millimeter blackened crimp tube, and I want it to go through all 4 tails of the wire. Just like that. And then you'll take that crimp and you will string it down towards your clasp. And I'm going to go ahead and use my magical crimpers. Magical crimpers, if you've never used them before, have a little notch on each side. And you're going to sit your crimp inside the notch. Give it a squeeze. It'll pinch all your little corners like that. Turn it 90 degrees and give it another squeeze. And then go around kind of a pump and squeeze a few times until you've nicely rounded it. And now I'm just gonna put on another one. You don't have to, but I'm doing another one for symmetry's sake because I'm gonna have 2 on the other end of my bracelet. But you technically do not need 2 here. I'm just doing it so I've got 2 on each side. So I'm just gonna pull it down towards that first one and give it another crimp there. And after I get set up and we start wrapping, I'll talk a little bit more about this wire we're using. So now I can just take this end of my toggle and I'm gonna pop it into my macrame board, into that little notch there. I'm just gonna kind of untangle the wires so that they fall the way they want to fall. I'm gonna take the plum and tuck that one in to the bottom, just like this. So the plum is tucked into those notches. And then these 2, they actually look like they want to be this way. Just going to let them fall out to the side the way they want to fall out, just like that. Okay, so now I'm going to try and prop up my macrame board a little bit so you guys can get a closer look. Bridget says if you're using a phone, it could be the direction of your phone. Yeah, the phone shows up on the bottom. I am using my phone to video, but I I have my computer set up next to me so that I can easily see comments, but that's not working the way I usually have it. Let's see if I can change pop out chat. No. I don't think I can see it any other way at the moment. So I will just try and catch your comments as I can. Okay, and I'm gonna move this up a little bit. So that hopefully you guys have a nice clear view of where we are here. So we are going to be using this wire, the thinner wire, as our bead stringing wire. I'm going to start with one of these saucers, and I'm going to take the wire on the left side and I'm going to feed it through left to right. Yeah, I have a feeling it's just a simple setting that got changed to chat at the bottom somewhere along the way, and I don't want to mess with it right now. So I fed the left strand through to the right and the right strand through to the left, and then I'm just pulling that bead down just like that. And the first bead's a little differently than the others. So this is what we do for the first one. I'm going to take out my plum wires, just kind of make sure I have a little space to get underneath them. And then I'm going to take my wire on my left and I'm going to go just under this left side wire here, just like that, and pull it through. So it sort of just twists right on that left side. And then we're going to do the same thing on the right side. We're going to take the right side wire, we're going to put it just through like this, and we will pull that up tight. And now we're going to go back through this bead one more time. So you want to make sure that the bead you put up here can handle a few passes, but with 010 wire it should be fine. And we'll see if I like this one as the starter bead, because I actually started with the cathedral yesterday and I don't know, I think I might like the way that one was looking better. And this saucer bead might not be as easy to get back through, even though it has a big hole. Okay, let's try the cathedral first and do the saucer second. I thought I'd like the shape there, but it's just not behaving. So you'll see my wire did get a little bump in it because I'm messing with it, but that's all right, because the way this design is, it'll be forgiving. I'm not using a soft flex wire, so you will get bumps a little more easily with the Econoflex wire. All right, so I'm back to the beginning here. I'm gonna take my wire on the left and I'm gonna pass it through my bead from left to right. And then I'm gonna take my wire on the right and pass it through my bead from right to left. And then just pull that up to the top there. And now we're going to take the wire on the left, we're going to dip it underneath this left plum wire and just pull it out just like that. And then we'll take our bead on the right, dip it just under the right plum wire, and pull it out like that. And now we're going to feed this wire back through this first bead again. And this just makes the bead really sink down on that wire. And we'll do it on this side too. I'm just going to pull it away from the camera for a second and get it tightened. Okay, so what it did was cinch your bead down onto this wire here. But I really want to pull this tighter. It's very interesting because I used the Fine 014 yesterday on my sample, and it does behave a little differently. I know Sarah always uses the 010. So maybe this is just a slight, see how my wire's kind of popping out there? I'm gonna just let it be part of the design and be okay with it. But I will show you on this example with the fine wire I used, it didn't pop out quite as much. But I'm just gonna go with it. So we've got one cathedral bead, and we don't have to go back 4 times on any of the other beads. It actually gets a lot quicker from there. So what you will do though is you'll take your left side, push it underneath the left side wire, and wrap it just like we did on the first one. And then we'll take the right side, put it underneath the right side wire, and wrap that. And now I'm gonna add a saucer bead next to it. So I'm gonna go in one direction, the saucer bead from the left, and then take the wire in through the other direction from the right to left. And pull that up to meet it. And I'm just gonna alternate my beads. So next and you continue to do this where you take the left wire under the left strand and the right wrapping wire underneath the right strand. And I'm just gonna pump that up. Grab another bead, go left through the bead hole, left wire, left to right, right wire, right to left, and then pump it up there. All right, now we're getting somewhere. And I'm gonna switch back to a saucer. So you just continue to wrap the wire underneath each one. And then feed it through from left to right. Rita says, awesome. Thanks, Rita. Thanks for sitting it out with me, fumbling a little bit in the beginning, but we got it going here. It is funny how you just change something, you know, a bead shape or a diameter of wire, and it does affect the feeling. All right, I'll do this one here. And this 010 wire is very, very thin. I'm not used to working with wire this thin. All right, so let's talk a little bit about our Econoflex wire. So our Econoflex wire, like I said, comes in two types. Yes, Vanessa, you can do this with just soft flex wire. Sarah's done it with soft flex and soft touch because we don't sell the Very Fine 010 in soft flex. We just sell it in the soft touch. So she's done the soft touch as the wrapping wire and the soft flex as the strands here, as your spine, I guess you can call it, your bracelet spine. And you can also use, I used on my other example, the fine as my wrapping wire. It's just, the Very Fine is gonna, I guess, disappear a little bit more just because it's so thin. Whereas the fine will have a heavier look, and then obviously if you go to medium, it'll have an even heavier look. But they can be interchanged and you can use the different ones. So our Econoflex wire is good for more crafty kind of jewelry projects and something where you're using a lot of wire. Like if you're doing a macrame design, I've used it for macrame, and you're sometimes using like 6 feet of wire or something, or even more than that. It gets a little cost prohibitive to always do it in soft flex. So Econoflex is an opportunity for you to find a more affordable product that might not need the flexibility as much in the design as soft flex offers. And it's for people that are hobbyists. It's for if you're doing something where you're going out and doing lots of different crafts, like beaded lampshades or beaded curtains, or some people have used it to do modeling, like ship models, like the little wire that's on the sails, or train models. So stuff like that, where you don't need a more professionally jewelry wire, but you do need a strong wire. That is where Econoflex shines in sort of the arts and crafts scene. Now we also have Pro Econoflex. Now Pro Econoflex is a little bit nicer for jewelry making than the Econoflex is. Pro Econoflex only comes in steel and gold. It's a good option for an affordable gold, like I mentioned in the beginning. And it is the only time we've ever done a fine 0.014 diameter with 49 strands. So our soft flex wire is a 49 strand 0.019, but it is a 21 strand 0.014. And so people for years have been asking us for a 49 strand 0.014, and our Pro Econoflex brand does deliver that. So if that's something you've been looking for, you can take a look at that line. And again, Pro Econoflex is nice. It's good for jewelry making, but it isn't as nice as our soft flex original beading wire. The main difference is that Econoflex is our only brand that is not made here in the US. So if that's important to you, that is the only brand that we do outsource to keep it an affordable product. But there's a place for it. So that's why we're using it today and telling you guys a little bit about it, because there is a place for it. I do love the jewel tone colors it comes in too. Oh, we're getting there. So did anyone do anything fun for St. Patrick's Day? I was nesting and doing a lot of organizing and cleaning, but I did make time to make my grandmother's Irish soda bread. I absolutely love her Irish soda bread, and I looked forward to it every year, to making it. This year, however, I'm on a gluten-free journey, and I've been gluten-free for about 2 weeks now, and so I had to adapt the recipe to make it gluten-free, and it didn't turn out too bad. I was a little concerned, and I did make a little goof because I bought a gluten-free baking mix that had baking soda in it already, so I didn't need to add any more baking soda, but I did. So it was so you could tell, I could tell that there was a little too much baking soda, but otherwise the consistency of it, and it did satisfy, you know, the consistency was good, and it satisfied my St. Patrick's Day tradition. Now I know for next time, if I buy a baking mix, I have to double check that it doesn't include some of the ingredients that I'm putting in the recipe. I think because Irish soda bread is a pretty dense bread to begin with, it worked as gluten-free really well, because I think that's Vanessa says I was totally lazy. It was a perfect day to be lazy. It was Sunday, right? Sundays are the best days to be lazy. I also started watching Game of Thrones this week. I've never seen it before, and decided to give it a go. And so that I spent a few episodes for sure this weekend watching that. Do we have any Game of Thrones fans in here? I always like a good binge watching show. And that one has a lot of seasons, so I'm in for it, I guess, for a little while. Damien says, I love it. Yes, I know Thomas is a big Game of Thrones fan too. Let's see, I'm gonna I think I'll do one more because I'm about 6.5 inches now. That's one thing that's really nice about the mini macrame boards, is you've got a measurements down the side. Vanessa says she doesn't know what she watched. You were just zoning out, huh? It was one of those just zone it right out weekends. I totally get that. Okay, so I'm gonna stop here. Since I stopped with the cathedral up at the top, I want to stop with one down at the bottom. And I'm sure if I went through, I could probably play with the tension a little bit. Let me just take 2 pliers and see what happens. If I just tug on the wire a little bit. I'm playing with fire here a little bit. This is me just going through and seeing if I can make the tension even between my wires, or a little closer to even. There we go. I kind of wish I had 2 chain nose instead of this flat one. I think I do. No, I don't. Where's my other chain nose? I try to watch these shows, like these binge shows, with my husband, but he fell asleep every time we watched Game of Thrones. So it'll probably be something I end up watching before bed so that he can just fall asleep. Yeah, I don't know how much that helped, but at least I just went down the line and made them a little more even. All right, so now I'm gonna get out another crimp tube. I'm gonna take my project off the board. Actually, let's just get rid of this entirely. Did those blocks help for you guys to be able to see the macrame a little more clearly? I kind of just stuck them underneath it. Oh, I just realized what I didn't do at the end. Let's see if I can fix that. Okay, so at the end, you do want to go back through that last bead again, like we did in the beginning. So let's see if this will. I'm gonna twist it around the right and then feed it back through. I should have did this part on the board, and that will just tighten that one there. Yeah, that worked. And then I'm gonna take this side and twist it around the left. Did it go? Twist it around the left. Oh yeah, it did go. Now it's twisted twice. Okay, twist it around the left and then feed it back through. Do I have it twisted twice? It looks like just once. Maybe my hands need a help here. Okay. So you can kind of tug it a little bit this way too, to get it to straighten out its tension just a little. And once you have it wrapped around the 2 wires down at the bottom, that bead is pretty in place there. So now you're going to take your crimp and feed it through all of these wires, all of these tails. And I may even just cut. Oh, where did I put my cutter? I'm gonna cut my wires, make them even so I'm not struggling to string on this crimp tube. So I'm gonna string all of them down to this bead here. And then I'll use my magical crimping plier to crimp. And then I'm gonna attach this to the other end of the toggle. Let me just see where I left that. Okay, so there's the other end of my toggle. And I'm actually gonna cut off the 2 black wires. And leave the 2 medium purple to make my attachment with. Because you want to make your attachment with the stronger diameter. So now I need one more black crimp tube. Again, I'm using the 2x2 millimeter crimp tubes. And this is why I ended up with 2 on this side. So I end up with 1, let me cut some of that wire off. I end up with 1 crimp tube to secure the 4 wires, and then I end up with a second crimp tube to attach to the end of my clasp. And you could just use 1 wire here too. The only reason why I'm doing 2 is because I'm using my magical crimping pliers, and they're really made for soft flex beading wire is what the manufacturer has created them for. So by having 2 run through here instead of just 1, I'm kind of ensuring that it will grab a hold of the crimp the way I want it to. So if you're just using regular crimping pliers, you could just have 1 strand running through. I'm just going to move that down until I get my crimp in the place I want it. It keeps sliding up. All right, that'll work. And then I'm gonna crimp it. Trim off my excess with my cutters. Go right up to that crimp tube. And, oh, it's kind of funny how so you can, once you actually put it on there, you can even play with adjusting the wires a little bit. This little one on the end here got a little wild on me. So I have to work, that's just working on your tension as you get more and more comfortable doing it. But that is pretty neat. It is interesting. I like the purple color, and I'll show you guys the one I made with the greens. Now this one was using a bead that was like an elongated bead, which actually worked out really kind of nicely in that design too. I think I chose to do this in 2 different colors to just make it easier for you guys to see, but it may be really nice if I just stuck with one color and used the Plum as my wrapping wire and the Plum as my center wire, just in 2 different diameters. Same for, I could either use the black too. Yeah, and then that would sort of, you wouldn't see that it was one wire over the other as well. There's the two different wraps. And like I said, I'm using our Econoflex brand today, which is on sale, 20% off through tomorrow, March 19th, 2019. And that is also our Pro Econoflex is on sale as well. And this really thin 010 Very Fine Wire is on closeout in all the colors of the Econoflex. So that's 30% off, plus you get an extra 20% off through tomorrow. So that's why I wanted to give you guys a little example of how to use that wire. You can do this pattern with any of our wires. So you can do it with Soft Flex and with Soft Touch. If you want to give the project a go and you want to try it with them, go ahead. More than happy to do that too. Let me flip you guys up and get a chance to chat. Do you have to use 2 different diameters? You don't have to, but the thicker diameter you definitely want running down the spine, at least an 019. And if you use an 019 to wrap, it's just gonna come out a little heavier. Although, you know, when you look at this one was the 014 wrapping, and this one was the 010. So the 010 is definitely quite a bit thinner. And this one, the 014, in my opinion, holds its shape really well. I think if I could get my tension better on this one and get it tighter around that outside spine, the 010 would be really nice, in my opinion. That's just me, because I don't like what happened here. It got kind of wild on the end over in this section here, so I have to work with that. But let me flip you guys up and tell you, say goodbye. Hopefully I don't drop you in the process. There we go. So that was fun. That was something different for me. I'm usually a macrameer, but I'm more of a knotter. So this was just sort of letting it wrap around the outside, and that was a neat new technique to try and see how you like it. Try it with different beads, try it with different shapes. I do really think I dig the ovally shapes on this one. And then I had just put the little ones in between to kind of play with that and see how that worked. And lastly, I just want to let you guys know, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, like it, and subscribe to our channel. It really helps us out to have those likes, and you'll get updates on whenever we have new videos. We post, I post weekly, James posts every 2 weeks, and we take all of our Facebook videos that we do and we also share them here on YouTube so that they're all housed in one place for you to go look and find every technique and thing that we have done. We have some upcoming videos this week, and that is March 20th. That's Wednesday. We'll be doing a Soft Flex Live sale, and those are always a lot of fun. We do them on Facebook. It's live at 1 p.m. Pacific time. Sarah Ayler hosts the sale, and for the Soft Flex one, we usually have wire included, as well as beads and findings, tools, and all sorts of different things. A lot of stuff is either low stock, one of a kind, stuff like that that we're just kind of closing out, or something unique that we didn't buy a lot of. And then we're passing it along to you at a great savings. So that's on Wednesday. We have the 21st on Thursday. James is going to be uploading a new video here on YouTube, so look for that. There's no specific time, but it should happen I would say early afternoon. So by noon or so, you should probably see that. March 25th, I'll be here again with another Free Spirit Beading episode. And March 27th, we do our kit design challenge. So that is on Facebook. It's live at 1 p.m. Pacific time. Sarah Ayler's your host over there, and she's going to be opening up the mystery flower power kit and doing a design on the fly with you guys. And then our new kit goes on sale that same day at www.softflexcompany.com. So the kits are always a lot of fun. The kit also kind of goes on. There's a lot of, I guess, kit hoopla of what people are making with their kits in the VIB Facebook group. So you can join that. And that's a really nice community where you can connect with us, share some of your designs, ask questions. And we also post when we're doing sales and videos and things of that nature in that group. So that's on Facebook. You can just search in Facebook Softflex VIB Studio, and that's V as in Victor, I as in iguana, and G as in girl. No, sorry, I didn't even say it right. B as in boy, VIB. So Softflex VIB Studio. Just search that on Facebook and you'll see the group there. It's a closed group, but we'll approve you really quick. And if you're already in there, then yay, say hi, and I'd love to see what you guys are up to. Thanks for joining me today, and oh good, thanks for linking Damien. There's a link to join the VIB Studio group since I flubbed the acronym. All right, I'll see you guys next week, same time, 11 a.m. Pacific time, here on the Softflex Company YouTube channel. Thanks for being here with me today. Have a great week. Bye.